Today I fucked up by sleeping with a girl who was, and still is, in a relationship. So this happened years ago, but soon I'll return to my city again and it's planned a reunion where I should meet with her again. Almost 6 years ago, I became friends with a group of people from different classes in my school, and in this group there was this girl, Virginia, fake name. She was, and still is, incredibly stunning, and I fell almost immediately for her, but she was dating another guy of the group, who was also one of my closest friends there, so I never made a move on her or anything, I just tried to move on. But then, the following year, they broke up, and some members of that group had started to hang out without the others. Pretty much like with every other group of friends during high school, the group split up. Me and Virginia started to hang out with some of our friends from other groups of friends, and started to grow close, until, that summer, we kissed and started to date. I felt incredibly good, but suddenly, she disappeared out of the blue, and a few days later, my best friend, who is also a close friend of Virginia, we'll call her Claire, told me that she had a new boyfriend, and a few days later, her Instagram confirms it. I discovered that she had just used me, going out with me for people to see us and to show to her old boyfriend that she could easily find someone else after he had dumped her, and she had lied to me about liking me, since, as she admitted to Claire, she never liked me, but thought I'd come in handy. We had a big fight, we stopped talking, then she came to me to apologize, but Claire told me that she did it only because she missed me having me around, and not because she felt sorry. Anyway, life got in between, and I moved to another city distant from mine for college, but I still came back for holidays. Luckily, my birthday came during one of these, and I met with all our group of friends for dinner. At dinner, she came to me and started to behave strangely, until, after dinner, she legitimately tried to sexually arouse me hoping that the others wouldn't notice. Spoiler. They did. I had known from Claire that her relationship with her boyfriend was going bad in the previous months, but after I walked her home by the end of the evening, she told me that she was still dating him, but that he was just annoying her constantly. We arrived at her house, and she asked me if I wanted to go with her for a while, so she could have a smoke. Moral of the story, we ended up doing it on her balcony, with her saying that she was a slut for doing that but at the same time asking me to keep going. As for me, I was still mad at her for how she behaved with me, and I'm not gonna lie, she is still very beautiful, so I thought that this was the best chance to get payback, and that, after that, we'd be even. But now, I'm feeling bad for her BF, who still loves her with all of his heart, and thinks she is loyal, even though it wasn't the first time that she had cheated on him with other men. But I think that this is not a justification for helping her doing it one more time. As I said, soon I'll have to meet with her probably, and it'd be the first time we meet after that happening, and I'm afraid things will get really awkward pretty fast, and she could even bring her boyfriend with her since Claire told me she brings him with her everywhere. Too long did not read. I slept with a girl in a relationship, because I thought I was entitled to. Turns out, guilt doesn't agree with that statement, and I may meet with her and her boyfriend soon. Please tell her boyfriend that she's evil. Why is Claire in the middle of this? Big crush on you? No matter how hot she is and how fucktacular the sex is, the life drama is not worth it. Dumb ass. She's got eyes like crystal's waters. Lips like cherry wine. A body like fine brandy. And a soul like turpentine. Commentary courtesy David Bromberg. TIFU. Microwave lit up the room. Wife, daughter and cats hate me now. This just happened early this morning while everyone else in the house was asleep. I was fixing a PB&J sandwich and placed a jar of peanut butter in the microwave to warm it up. I like to warm up the peanut butter so it doesn't destroy the bread while spreading it with a knife. I set the timer for 15 seconds, turn it on and turn around to do some additional prep work. All of a sudden I hear a loud buzzing and a bright light emanating from behind me. This is no little flash, it is a brilliant light, enough to cast my shadow on the far wall of our dining room. I whip around and see the top edge of the plastic peanut butter jar strobing like an arc welder. I yank the door open to shut it off and that's when I see the top edge of the jar still has a small remnant of the foil freshness seal stuck to the lip. The foil has gotten so hot that it has melted the plastic jar and slightly charred it. The burnt plastic is giving off a heavy chemical smell and a thin haze of smoke has collected in the top of the microwave. I laugh to myself and pull the jar out of the microwave thinking it was a simple mistake and everything is okay. That's when the smoke detector starts screaming its brains out. Since this is around 2 a.m. it wakes my wife and adult daughter. My wife is an RN and starts her day at 6 a.m., So this was in the middle of her sleep cycle. She is not happy. My daughter has recently changed jobs and this was the first morning she was reporting to her new position. She is not happy. We have 4 cats of various ages. The smoke alarm has startled them and now they are bouncing off the walls, the stairs and each other. They are not happy. So I am standing on the stairs slapping at the smoke detector. The wife and daughter are yelling at me and the cats are ripping around the house like cats do when they are freaked out of their minds. I ended up breaking the mounting plate of the smoke detector but eventually got it silenced. The wife and daughter are glaring at me. One of the cats has pissed and evacuated their bowels on the floor of the kitchen and I have evil-smelling plastic fumes I have to clear out of the kitchen. I am not happy. So this has made me persona non grata for the humans and probably the cats in the house. Just because a little foil stuck to the top of the peanut butter jar. Too long did not read. Peanut butter jar still had some foil from the freshness seal on the top. Microwave lit up the room as a result. Ended up waking the family during the middle of the night. Update. Thank you all for the concern expressed about my misadventure. No, the peanut butter was not refrigerated. It's a generic chunky brand that is fairly dense and needed a little encouragement to spread easily. It was nearly a full jar. 15 seconds barely raises the core temperature 10 degrees. Wife and daughter are speaking to me but cats are keeping their distance, maybe a benefit after all. Floor has been sanitized with isopropyl alcohol and fresh wax. Lessons learned about foil in the microwave. We'll double check the jar the next time, and there will be a next time. I give it a week and you'll all be laughing over it. Except the cats. They will be plotting vengeance. So you repeatedly microwave the entire jar of peanut butter? Strange choice. How cold is your peanut butter that you need to microwave it? Either that or you really need to be more gentle while spreading your nutter on bread. Please tell me you're the kind of person who refrigerates peanut butter. You microwaved the entire jar? I hate you too for this. Today I fucked up by ruining my friend's new relationship. My good friend Amy is a widow. She's been trying to date again the last few years, but so far all of the guys have been really toxic, including an alcoholic who would use her to pay his way and crashed her brand new car while she was at work. So when she started dating John, she told me she was on edge and afraid that he was going to be like the last couple guys. I didn't realize my husband knew John. My husband works in an office that specializes in certain companies complying with the government regulations on that type of business. John works in IT, and has a contract with my husband's office and is usually the one who comes to fix issues, although there are a couple other IT guys. My husband has made small chat with John but nothing past surface level. My husband and I went out on a date night, and saw Amy and John. She waved us over and John recognized my husband. It seemed like their relationship was going to be great, and we were looking to having another friend couple. Most of our friends are single. We went on a double date and it went well, they seemed to like each other a lot. But Amy told me that he said he was divorced and that he said he wasn't ready to talk about it. She felt like this was the big red flag she was missing, the other shoe dropping. I told my husband and he said he didn't know any details. A few days later my husband calls me at work. He told me that John came in, they were chatting a bit, and he noticed John was wearing a wedding ring. I said I had to tell Amy, he agreed. She didn't take it well. She had been building up anxiety about his past and his inability to talk about it, so she assumed, we all did, he must be lying and not divorced, but still married. She confronted him, and really flipped out. She gave him a verbal lashing that she definitely regrets, especially because we were wrong. A couple years ago, John was married but she didn't want children and she wanted to move far away. They decided that they weren't compatible even though they loved each other. They filed for divorce and then a few days later, she was killed by a drunk driver. The divorce wasn't finalized so John was responsible for the estate and funeral and organ donation. He did what she would have wanted, and tried to grieve but felt guilty because they were in the process of getting divorced. So he didn't consider himself a widower. Because she had blown up instead of asking him, he said he needed space and ended up blocking her. She felt justified because he wouldn't tell her but wearing his ring meant he wasn't over it. But now she's upset and has been very awkward towards me and my husband. We feel guilty for meddling. Too long did not read. Best friend's new boyfriend wore a wedding ring to work and we told her, resulting in her angrily confronting him and him admitting that he was getting divorced when his wife died tragically. Sounds like your friend ruined it perfectly well for herself, you just gave her the info. Her flipping out is on her, but I wouldn't be super comfortable accepting. I'm not ready to talk about it, if I started seeing someone and found out they wore a wedding ring, just not around me. I don't think you did a bad thing. Impulse control seems major issue with her, they guy did the right thing. The relationship ended because Amy does not know how to communicate calmly. This should also teach the two of you to not assume things and pass them on as fact. Yeah. That dude dodged a bullet.